Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolks said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is a place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
Become of my worldwide talent agency. What have you hayshakers done to the shrine of show business, huh? Your friendly credit dentist. Granny?
That's right. Also doctor, surgeon, and barber. You get a free kitten with every haircut. If you have a tooth pulled, you get a free puppy. Well, let's get the offices of J.C. Enterprises open for business.
See you in a minute.
Harness mended? Mr. Fix-It? Uncle Jed, sweetie, how could you do this to me? Your own nephew, the first boy genius in the family. I was making this whole 5th floor the nerve center to the whole entertainment industry. People was calling me Mr. Show Business.
But Mr. Drysdale says you didn't have no clients.
No clients? I just signed an exclusive lifetime contract to represent Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews?
Yeah, and he was only the first.
Now, you stand there with your friend. Any patients waiting, receptionist?
No, ma'am, doctor, just Jethro.
Come on in, boy. You can see how your Uncle Jed and me has fixed up this office.
Ellie, honey, why don't you slip on your sandwich sign, walk around the block a few times, chum up some customers?
Oh, yes, sir, Pop.
The peasants had done took over the palace. This was the throne room of the crown prince's show business. From this window, I could look out over my empire.
Mr. Drysdale said that you didn't need it, and he talked Jed and me into taking it over.
Uh-huh. You done killed a dream. The sweet smell of success is gone.
I wouldn't say that, boy. We'd likely do real good.
Yeah, I'm gonna fetch back a whole bunch of customers.
Smile pretty, Ellie.
I will.
Any business that Ellie fetches us will be gravy. We done got a 65 steady customers.
Where'd you get them?
Mr. Drysdale. He's sending us every one of his bank employees.
Granny, I think you can take credit for that. It's a job you done on Mr. Drysdale's teeth that sold him.
Oh, any first-rate dentist would have spotted right off that his front teeth was nothing but shells.
Shells?
I lifted off 6 of them. Left nothing but little nubs.
Yeah, Mr. Drysdale looked like a garfish when he left him.
6 teeth had to be recapped at $150 a cap.
Why did you let Granny pull them off?
She had me cramped in that antique dentist chair.
I think you promised to send your 65 bank employees to Granny for treatment.
Now, look, we've got to get the Clampetts off that 5th floor. You go up there and tell them the building's been condemned.
Just for a change, why don't we stick to the truth?
If the city finds out what's going on up there, it'll be the truth. They're running a combination pet shop, shoe shop, maternity ward, dental clinic, operating room. You can get anything from a haircut to a heart transplant. And all without a license.
Chief, every single woe that besets you is directly attributable to your love of money.
What do you mean?
You rented that floor to the Clampetts for one reason, to collect money. You're greedy, grasping, penurious, avaricious, and that's why you're in trouble.
Yes, like they say. Nice guys finish last.
For once in your life, why don't you do the decent, honorable, honest thing?
Like what?
Like go to the 5th floor and tell Mr. Clampett the truth that you made a mistake. that Jed Clampett Enterprises has no future and that he and his family should vacate the building and move back home.
Yes, you're right. I guess it is the only decent thing to do.
You'll feel better for it.
I feel better already.
Cast off the shackles of greed.
I'm a free man.
You're cleansed of your sickness.
I'm well.
Let's celebrate by burning this.
What is it?
Mr. Clampett's check for the first month's rent, $5,000.
5,000?
Steady, Chief. Even though Mr. Clampett is a man worth $80 million, he's still a simple, naive soul, and he trusts you implicitly.
Burn it.
Bless you.
I'm raising his rent to $7,500. My first duty is to the stockholders of this bank.
But you own all the stock.
That's right. To thine own self be true. Come in.
Mr. Drysdale?
Yes. I'm Melvin Drysdale. And who are you?
My name is Armstrong. I'm the building inspector.
Building inspector?
Yes, I'd like to ask what kind of business is being conducted on the 5th floor?
Why?
Well, there's a beautiful blonde walking around the block with a sign that says, "Follow me to the 5th floor of the Commerce Bank building."
Irene.
Who?
Oh, yes. Well, that is a very interesting story. Miss Hathaway, would you like to tell Mr. Armstrong about that?
No.
Well, it is kind of sad. You see, that entire 5th floor used to be occupied by a young talent agent. And then a terrible tragedy occurred. Right?
Right. He couldn't pay his rent.
He did fall on evil times. Too bad. A brilliant young fellow, but misfortune plagued him. And finally, it was too much for his proud, sensitive nature. He jumped. That's when we closed off the 5th floor.
You closed it?
It's haunted.
Well, then why is that young lady walking around with a sign?
Well, that is the really sad part of the story. You see, this girl was on the verge of stardom. And when that brilliant young agent jumped, it sort of unhinged her mind.
Oh, Chief.
No. I know it's a sad story.
It's pitiful.
Well, if you're going to cry, you go into your own office. Now, where was I?
That young lady wandering the streets with the sign.
Oh, yes. Looking for her agent. Tragic. She can't accept the fact that he's gone.
Well, who was this young agent?
Jethro Bodine. They called him Mr. Show Business, the boy genius of Hollywood.
Funny, I didn't read about him jumping.
Well, the industry hushed it up. He was such a revered figure.
Well, what's on the 5th floor now?
Nothing but ghosts and memories. Now and then, some of Jethro's old clients, who, like poor Ellie, refuse to believe that he's gone.
When do you plan to reopen the floor?
I may never reopen it. I may seal it off as a shrine to the memory of that wonderful young man. That won't violate the building code, will it?
No, I don't think so, but won't you be losing a lot of rent?
Oh, only money. A man must do what his heart dictates.
I'm sorry to hear about this. I hope you'll get that young girl off the street.
Immediately. I'll see that she gets the best of care.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Chief, you've really woven a tangled web now.
But it worked. Now you get Ellie off the street and tell Mr. Clampett I've raised his rent.
No, sir, I refuse to become involved.
All right, come along.
Where are we going?
As an employee, you're entitled to free medical benefits. We'll start by having Granny fix your teeth.
I'll cooperate.
That's better. Now get busy.
We ain't back yet, and ain't no customers waiting.
They'll come in bunches. That's the way it always is.
How about it, boy? You want to join in with us and make this a family business?
No, sir, not me.
You could learn some mighty useful trades, like hair cutting, cheese pulling, doctoring.
Wind carving, harness mending, shoe cobbling.
You all just don't understand, do you? I just can't go from being Hollywood's #1 agent to cobbling shoes. I'd rather jump out the window.
Well, if you feel that strong about it.
Hey, listen, you ain't doing no business. Tell you what, you let me turn this place back into my worldwide talent agency, and I'll put you in movies.
What do you think, Granny?
No, Jed, it's tempting, but the world needs a good doctor more than it does another sex symbol.
Granny's right about the world needing doctors, boy. Why don't you stay and study with her?
I'll learn your brain surgery.
I just ain't getting through to you, am I? I got show business in my blood. I done been sprinkled with stardust. I got destiny to fulfill.
Where do you aim to fulfill it?
Yeah, you couldn't pay your rent here.
Well, hey, how about I have my talent agency up at the mansion?
That's all right with me.
It'll be good to have somebody keeping an eye on the place.
Then it's a deal.
Gee whiz, Miss Jane. I must have had a dozen fillers following me.
I know, Ellie, but Mr. Drysdale wants this floor closed off to everyone but his bank employees. They have priority.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm awful sorry.
I'll keep in touch with you.
Do that, boy.
Hi, Miss Jane.
Jethro.
See you later, Ellie.
Well, where you going?
I'm moving my worldwide talent agency up to the mansion.
Jethro, judging from your record so far, perhaps you weren't meant to be an agent.
Are you kidding? It's my destiny. I'm a natural-born star maker. Didn't I discover Julie Andrews?
You?
That's right. Working in a car wash.
Julie Andrews?
Right, Julie?
Right, Jethro.
This isn't Julie Andrews.
Here we go again. Show her your driver's license, Julie.
Jethro, what's happened to your agency?
I'm moving out, sweetie.
In that case, I think I better go back to work at the car wash.
And give up show business?
I gotta eat, man. I'll be seeing you.
That guy's crazy. If he'd have stuck with me, I'd have made the name Julie Andrews famous.
Well, that's show business.
Yeah. Hey, Ellie, if any celebrities calls or comes to see me, send them up to the mansion.
Sure will, Jethro.
Hey, Miss Jane, you want to come along as a secretary? You can start by typing up Lee Marvin's contract.
You handle Lee Marvin?
Yeah, she's a real nice girl. You'd like her.
Thanks, Jethro, but I get nervous around celebrities.
Ma'am, mansion won't be no place for you, because it's going to be jumping with them. Oh, if you want me, I'll be up there among the stars.
Bye,
Jethro.
Bye.
Well, Miss Jane.
Sure is good to see you.
Come in, come in.
Come right in. Now sit right over there in the dentist chair and we'll get started.
Wait a minute. I'm not here for treatment.
How come?
Mr. Drysdale said he was sending up all his employees.
Well, yes, but we're supposed to come in alphabetical order. I'm Hathaway. Ages aren't due yet.
Oh, who's that little fella that I pulled his hair on his head?
Cratchit, C. Next comes D.
Drysdale.
Good. We's ready for him. Jed's whittled him a brand new upper plate.
What?
Take a look at this, Miss Jane. I made the gums out of redwood.
That way the termites won't get into him.
And the teeth is hard maple.
Mr. Drysdale has teeth.
Oh, he don't want to be running around with them little nubs. A banker ought to have a nice smile.
I can put a coat of white enamel on these and they'll look dandy.
Maybe Mr. Drysdale would like a gold tooth. Right there in front.
I can get one for him. More if you want.
Oh, that'd look rich.
Surely you're joking. I mean, a person couldn't really use wooden teeth. Could they?
Sure, I whittled many a set for folks back in the hill.
Half the folks on Possum Ridge is eating with Jed's teeth.
I made them for folks as far away as Branson.
His best customer is Jim Owen, over to Branson.
I made old Jim 3 sets. One for hunting, one for fishing, one for Sunday.
Jed would drill little holes in his hunting teeth so Jim could whistle up his dogs.
I think Jim appreciated his fishing teeth the most. He used to love to get out in his john boat on the White River. But come ragweed season, he'd sneeze away 4 or 5 sets of store teeth.
They'd sink right to the bottom.
Kept him broke until I whittled him a set out of white oak.
He'd still sneeze them out, but they would float.
Many's a day I seen old Jim sitting out there in his boat, gumming a cigar and casting for his teeth.
Never lost another set.
Well, I did have to make him one replacement, Granny.
How come?
He fell asleep one day with his mouth open, woke up, There's a woodpecker sitting on his chin.
That's a remarkable story.
Oh, Jed, tell her about the Sunday teeth.
Oh, yeah, I made him a set of hollow teeth to wear to church.
Hollow teeth.
Well, Jim used to love to join in with the hymns, but he couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. So he used to whip out a pencil and tap on his teeth.
Sounded just like a xylophone.
Folks used to come from miles around to hear him play Onward Christian Soldiers on them hollow teeth.
Well, you send Mr. Drysdale up and we'll give him a fit.
You certainly will. But I rather doubt that he'll want to wear wooden teeth.
Oh, that's the way it is with all new things. But you can't fight progress.
I tell you what, you take these along and show them to Mr. Drysdale.
And tell him that wearing wooden teeth once saved Jim Owen's life.
By golly, Granny, you're right. I'd forgotten about that.
Jim and Jack Hershon were exploring a cave when their flashlights give out on them.
Old Jim just whipped out his teeth, set fire to them, and away they went. One holding the uppers, one the lowers.
Old Jim had the only set of charred white oak teeth in Taney County.
It became his drinking teeth.
Drinking teeth?
Well, charred white oak is what they use for aging whiskey.
Old Jim would just take a swig of white lightning, hold it in his mouth till it melted down.
I'll certainly explain the advantages of wooden teeth to Mr. Drysdale.
And when it comes to you, Miss Jane, we'll give you a special job.
Yeah, out here in California, you got some dandy woods we can try. Orange, lemon, lime, avocado. Lots of flavors to them.
Yeah, but the way things grows out here, you gotta be careful. If you put them in water at night, he's liable to sprout on you.
Ooh, you wouldn't want to have to prune your teeth every morning.
Miss Jane, would you like to see the way old Jim looked with his wooden teeth?
Yes, I would.
Jed carved a statue of him.
Carved a statue?
Whittled it out of a solid cedar log.
I've been working at it a long time. Just finished it this morning. You'll be the first to see it.
That old Jim.
Of course, I've done it from memory.
Oh, you caught him. That's the spitting image of Jim Owen right there.
That's the way he looked the morning I finished whittling his uppers.
First time he smiled in 10 years.
Awfully thin, wasn't he?
Well, the poor old fella hadn't ate nothing but mush and clabbering all that time.
Quick as I finished his lowers, he took to eating solids and fleshed out to beat the band.
You wouldn't know him today, except for the beard.
Truth is, I shorted him a mite on that. It was longer than this.
Jed, do you recollect the day that old Jim was napping out in the fields? And when he woke up, the bird dogs had him on point?
I do for a fact. Old Jim got up and flushed a covey of quail out of that beard.
Hi there.
Oh, hello. Oh, you're Ellie, the young lady who was carrying the sign around.
Oh, yes, sir. But Miss Jane come and got me.
Tell me, are you still looking for Jethro?
No, sir. He's gone.
You accept that fact?
Well, yes, sir. He's gone to the mansion. He's up there among the stars.
That's a sweet thought. Oh, Miss Hathaway.
Mr. Armstrong.
Armstrong. That commences with an A. He should have been first.
Well, better late than never. Come on in.
Right in here, young feller. We'll take care of you.
Sure come to the right place.
Oh, that's terrible.
You got a headache, Miss Jane?
Definitely.
Well, where you going?
To give it to Mr. Drysdale.
The building inspector's on the 5th floor?
He's talking to Jed and Granny right now.
I'm ruined.
Chief, why did you have to tell him that Jethro jumped out the window?
Wishful thinking, I guess. Jim, maybe if I rush up there, I can still save the situation.
Fine, here. Take your teeth along.
My teeth?
That's your new upper plate. Jed Clampett whittled them himself, and Granny's ready to put them in.
I've got my own teeth.
You won't have if Granny gets you in that dentist chair.
Boy, am I in trouble?
Mr. Armstrong, the Clampetts think he's one of your employees.
You mean he's getting medical attention?
By now, it's very likely.
So, this was, Jethro's private office, huh?
Yes. The throne room of the crown prince of show business. From this window, he could look out on his empire.
And you converted it into a workshop.
Well, it was Mr. Drysdale's idea. He thought we ought to keep busy.
Splendid suggestion. I imagine Jethro's leaving was quite a loss to you.
Well, we wanted him to stay here and give up the agent business and learn another trade.
But the boy was too proud. Said if he couldn't be Hollywood's #1 agent, he'd rather jump out the window.
Pride goeth before a fall. Oh, I'm sorry, that just slipped out. Did Jethro put you in the movies?
Well, he wanted to, but...
I understand. It's a heartbreak business. How fortunate for you, you had your hobbies to fall back on. Did you do this, Mr. Clampett?
Yeah, I would have that.
Psychotherapy.
No, that's Jim Owen. I don't believe we know any therapy, do we, Greg?
I don't recollect any. What does he do?
Oh, well, you see, therapy helps people get over shock or tragedy or nervousness.
Sound like a nice fella.
Yeah.
Fine chap.
Well, come on, I'll check your teeth.
No. As a matter of fact...
Sit down.
Sit
down.
Yes, of course.
Right there.
Jed Clampett Enterprises.
Ellie, this is Mr. Show Business.
Oh, hi, Jethro.
Any big celebrities looking for me?
No.
Any big Hollywood producers or directors?
No.
Hey, is there any cablegrams or long-distance calls?
No.
Boy, I'm getting lonesome up here.
Well, ain't there lots of stars around?
Heck no. Ain't nobody from Hollywood been near this place. Hey, listen, Ellie, I reckon Uncle Jed and Granny's awful anxious for me to come back down there and help them, huh?
Well, they ain't said nothing.
I know I made them sad the way I left so sudden. Give them the good news. Tell them I'm coming back.
Good, Jethro. Bye.
What do you think, Jed?
Oh, I can make him a dandy set of fish and teeth.
Oh, Granny, good news. Jethro's coming back.
He's coming down here?
Well, that's what he said.
You actually heard Jethro's voice?
Well, he called me and I heard him.
I always believed he'd come back here.
He said he was awful lonesome up there.
Lonesome? Up there among the stars?
Well, he said there wasn't nobody from Hollywood there at all.
Do you people really believe that Jethro is coming back?
Sure. Not as an agent, maybe, but...
I hope he comes back as a brain surgeon.
That would be helpful. Well, I have to be running along.
Well, don't you want to stay and meet Jethro?
No. I don't think I'd better. I've got to see Mr. Drysdale.
Well, tell him he can start sending in the bees.
Will you have hives?
Only doing the strawberry season.
Yeah, well, goodbye.
Bye, and I'll start whittling on your fish and teeth right away.
Thank you.
Here's a little town in the mountains of Mexico where they'll never find me.
This won't work.
Yeah, you're right. Get me on a plane to Argentina.
Chief, listen to me.
Mr. Drysdale.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Armstrong. The whole idea was Miss Hathaway's. I am innocent.
Congratulations, Miss Hathaway. That program for rehabilitation that you're conducting on the 5th floor is one of the most inspiring humanitarian projects I've ever witnessed.
Oh, that! I thought you were upset about the higher rate of interest on loans to widows and orphans. That was her idea. She does all the rotten things. The project on the 5th floor was mine.
Well, whoever is responsible for it, it's great. That occupational therapy program is working wonders. Their minds are still a little unstable, but their manual dexterity is fabulous. Why, do you know that Mr. Clampett carves false teeth out of wood?
Do I know it? It was my idea. Look at this upper plate he just carved for me.
But you have beautiful teeth.
Oh, that's beside the point. To help those poor tortured souls, I'm going to have Granny pull every tooth and fit me with ease.
Fine. Well, let's get started.
Granny!
Stammering again. I'm going to have to prune his tongue back, too.
Prune his tongue?
He's got too much for his mouth. It's going to cause him trouble.
It already has.
Well, what do you say, Mr. Drysdale? You want me to bob it back for you?
Bob?
He might just be ready to have you remove the whole thing.
Well, we'll see. Come along. Come on.
it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.